Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Adventures in Arcane Space. Once again, I'm your Dungeon Master, AuldDragon, and the players are...
Hi, I'm David Bigback Shepherd. I play Braxon, who is the captain and a human fighter from an asteroid close to Brow.
Hi everyone, I'm Daikami-sama and I play Solas Abeba, who is half-elven cleric mage of Ogma.
Hey, I'm James. I play Ockar, human paladin from Brawl.
Hello everyone, I'm Salen Mortar. I play Finnel'ar Mohani, a human druid from Grayspace.
Hi, I'm Levalithana, an elven wild mage. She still doesn't know where from.
One day we'll find out. Hi, I'm Zakar. I play Lafdul Moonglade. He is the integral, industrious, indulgent, inane instructor of the infectious and infallible Fey Jester from Realm Space. In other words, he's a mischiefmaker thief, special priest.
Would you mind repeating that?
No.
Oh, if you don't mind repeating it, please repeat it.
Yes.
The integral, industrious, indulgent, and inane instructor of the infectious and infallible Fey Jester. I will type it in on Twitch chat, and I will put it on...
Jesters do fade jesters, what I didn't understand. Okay.
It's one of the names of my Aravan's nicknames, Mankias, or whatever you want to call it.
So we left off last time. The party had found the wreckage of a tradesman, not a tradesman, a galleon, that had been attacked. Apparently by the pirates that they're after, Red Njord.
Yeah.
In between in between the sun and the orbit of Sirion. At least that's where it was when you found it.
Yeah. I mean, presumably the other planets would have moved.
Yes.
Since it was attacked.
Which reminds me, I should get up my tracking information for the moons.
Oh, yeah.
Not the moons, the planets.
It's a good job we're not characters from Ansalon. All this magic goes up and down. It's like that weird wild magic stuff. We wouldn't want someone that did that either. Oh,
But there's nothing weird about wild magic. It's perfectly fine.
Sorry, I'm talking out of character. Braxon would have no idea about magic that goes up and down in space.
Oh, I was answering as Leva.
Yeah.
Leva thinks it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly normal. These people, they just don't understand.
But it would be... Oh... Yes, we might have local spellcasters. I will say no more, because we're not supposed to know anything.
Alright, so I have my list up so I can keep track of the planet movement. Alright, so, you had memory read on one of the members of the crew. In fact, the one that you had been trying to get.
That was the first officer.
Yeah, the first officer. There are 3 other crew members that you were thinking about doing, and I think you didn't have spells memorized for that. You needed to do that a different day?
Yeah, it was another day.
Yeah, so we done outro. And the others don't have names.
How long until we're back at wherever we are to drop these guys off, so I know how long I got?
You've got multiple days. It took you, I think, 8 days to get here.
No.
So. Now we've rescued these people, and it doesn't matter so much if we bump into pirates and have a fight. Can we put up the flag of... I forgot what that organisation was.
The trading company thing.
The people of Hadukal.
Yeah, does it have a name?
Probably. I mean, it's more just indicating that you're a ship of their quote-unquote nation. Let's put it that way.
Oh, right. So we're not masquerading as a ship of
A trading company? No, no, not
A
specifically.
trading company. We're masquerading as a ship of Hiruku.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah. Like
In a battle dolphin.
a national trading ship, essentially. Yeah. So the question is whether you want to spend any more time here, or whether you want to leave now and make your way back.
I think we should start heading back, but I'm wondering if we can do anything to look more like a trading ship. Has anyone got any skills to camouflage our weapons?
Oh. I could probably disguise them. I disguised a flare-hold. Could I do that with weapons? Or at least make them uncertain of what they are?
You need to
From
describe
afar?
to me how you want to do that. Like, it's not just a roll a disguise check and it's disguised.
Well, no, I would put spare sailcloths on it, I guess, and basically make it look like a what do you call it? A
crate?
A cargo.
Yeah.
A cargo lifting machine. I forgot what you call them. Winches.
Oh, a crane.
Yeah, just basically make it look like a different machine. I ask Solas for engineering tips on local devices.
That's an idea.
Inspiration.
We should have weapons anyway, but if we can disguise the 2 extra ones,
3 extra
and
ones.
make them look like 3
it's
extra
basically
ones.
to
Right.
from a distance you wouldn't be able to tell what that is. That's what I'm going for. Not to say that it's not a weapon, it's to make it an object on a ship. Something you can't tell.
Good heavens! I've actually just noticed that I've been given some how should I say, handicap in fights.
Have you been overloaded and didn't realize it?
No. I've been giving you handicap in that I've completely missed out that I actually have 3 level 2 slots for a mage and not 2 level 2 slots.
Yeah,
well,
you should have.
That's on you.
A lot more.
Well, we're using the 3rd one for the summon ham ability.
All right, so like that's the thing though, is that you need to describe what you want it to look like. Do you want it to look like cargo? Do you want
machine.
it to look like you want it to look like cranes or something?
Yeah, some kind of crane.
Lever can help with that with spectral force.
Well, we can do that on the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
I
so
think
you do one and I do, and Lever does the other.
I think the idea of breaking up a bit sounds good. So, yeah, if we could get 2 of our weapons and make them look like cranes with some cargo next to them, and
Although
the cargo is really the ammunition, and the crane is like the body of the weapon. Would that do you think that would cause a big delay when we want to fire?
It depends on how much you're changing it. And the thing about the illusion is how long can you maintain that? Or how long
the illusion would
it says
probably
it lasts as long as Lever concentrates. So if you feed me food, I'll just sit here and concentrate on it for
no, you get a headache.
It's so boring.
No, there's a limit to how long you can concentrate on something. Beyond a point, it's just too mentally exhausting.
Probably an hour.
Yeah, I'd probably put it as an hour.
Maybe that's something to do if we drop out of spelljamming speed.
Yeah,
you could make our ship look damaged.
Yes.
So anyone friendly would want to assist, and anyone who's a pirate will go, well, hey, I'll go in there and attack.
Old?
Mm-hmm.
How soon after, or how close do we have to be that the others actually see clearly how the ship looks like?
Really depends on their equipment and their crew complement.
Let's say they have a crew complement or an equipment that can look rather far? Let's say if Lever can concentrate for 1 hour, is that enough?
I mean, that would be
don't-
enough for getting by a ship. I mean, that would just be a
Mhm.
matter of minutes.
Okay.
What we're trying to do, Lever, is we're trying to, if we drop out of spelljamming speed and there's a pirate,
Mm-hmm.
we want to encourage
She
them to attack
understand.
us.
She
So
understands.
it doesn't even need to
Then it-
last an hour. Once we start fighting back, they'll know it's a con.
Yes. But until that time, so how far away should Lever start with her illusion?
Well,
She
right away.
can't
Right away.
predict it.
The second you see another
Yeah.
ship.
All right.
As soon as we.
Because
Yeah,
if you can identify them, by the time you can identify them, they can probably identify you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah,
see
we should
another
base-
ship and you're not sure if it's a pirate or a cargo vessel or whatnot, then they may not be sure of you. But the second you can determine whether they're a pirate or just a trader or some other sort of vessel, then they can probably do the same about you. And if you then put up your illusion,
Then it's
they'll
too
see
late.
through it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
We
Yeah.
should, we should basically think that they have the same capacity to recognize us as we have them, so that they have a spyglass and such.
Yeah. Well,
So-
I think that their lookouts will see, and then someone with a spyglass will point the spyglass at us.
Okay. So Lever will actually memorize 2 of them.
Okay.
Okay. Worst case scenario is we're going to meet a friendly ship, and you're
Yeah,
going to
that's
cast
exactly-
an illusion, and it's going to be wasted.
That's exactly why she's going to memorize 2 of them.
I wouldn't make a ship look defenseless, though.
Well, what do you think's going to make them want to attack us? We're quite a big ship.
Because if you look defenseless, there's obviously something going on. What's the odds of running into someone that's entirely undefended?
What
No,
about
we
the hole
don't. We
in
don't
the
want to look.
hole-
We don't want to look like we have no weapons.
What about the hole in the hull?
Yeah. What we
were
want to look like.
attacked, we were attacked and we ended up with a hole in the hull. How about that?
Yeah, as long as you don't do it on Lafdul's side of the ship, Lafdul will be very frustrated. 'Cause
I
he
suppose
just
the other
walked
thing.
through
The other
somehow,
thing is, if
or
we look
think he
damaged,
can.
they might assume that we've already been raided. We want to look like we want to look like a very good target to attack.
We've been in a couple of fights or something, I don't know.
So
Yeah.
could Lever make some of the quote battle scars on the current battle scars on the hull, just make them bigger so the ship looks, let's say, hurt.
I don't
Attacked.
think that
We
you
don't
have
have
any
battle
right
scars.
now. Yeah, you got fully
Yeah,
repaired and you haven't been into a fight since then.
Oh, okay.
What about if we've
You
got
just do
rid
like
of...
an impact.
Well, the other thing is the weapon on the little ship, the shuttle, was never meant to be there. So maybe you could change that weapon into an expensive-looking set of cargo.
You have 3 weapons that are not supposed to be there.
Yeah, but
However, I will
many
note that any member of your crew could tell you that none of those weapons are in a place that would typically have cargo put there.
okay.
So Lever can affect an area of 40 foot of a 40-foot cube plus 10 foot per cube per level.
Yeah, unless
So
you
if-
roll really badly on your level variation, you can affect the entire top portion of the shuttle where all of your weapons are and stuff like that. The weapon on the shuttle, the deck of the shuttle, and the observation areas, and that general area of the dolphin itself. It wouldn't
So-
reach down to the lower open deck with the catapults.
Okay, so she will ask Braxon, because he knows most about ships. How could we best make this look so we look attractive to a pirate? Shall I make a sign that says, "Here, pirate, come please"?
Yeah, maybe. How
Attack
about
here.
if one of our cargo doors was ripped off, and there was a lot of cargo inside?
Why don't you
Yes.
just put a lot of embellishment, like fancy sails and colourful gilding or something?
It's got to look realistic, Braxon. If the cargo door is ripped off, wouldn't the cargo have fallen out?
Not if it's all lashed down.
I think the old Lafdul's idea of just making our ship look really fancy is good idea.
Yeah, there is that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another option is to basically masquerade with illusion some of our weapons as cranes and such.
Yeah, that's already been done physically. I suppose she could augment that and make it look like things are moving.
Yes.
I mean, if we don't do it physically, instead we do it with illusions, there's no penalty in using them. Basically, since you don't have to remove anything from anything
That's
to
true.
use them.
That's true, but
Put the Christmas trees on the mast and stuff like the Christmas tree decorations on the mast and stuff like that.
that's true. But we might bump into someone when she's not on shift. So this will be an icing on the cake thing. How about changing a bit of the decoration of our ship?
Why not teach a spell to the other spellcaster on the other shift?
Well, if you can do that now, yes.
I mean, what would pirates go for? Oh, actually, Leva turns around to the people we saved and asks them, "How did your ships look like? What do you think made you attractive to those pirates?"
Well, it was a planned thing, though.
They would tell you that, not being pirates themselves, they're not entirely sure, but the fact that they were a galleon, flying the flag of Hadukal may have been the tip-off. Galleons are great for hauling cargo. They're not great for fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And the people of Hadukal are peaceful and agrarian. They have, many goods that other people in the Crystal Sphere are interested in, especially with food. And, they do a lot of trading for other things that Hadukal needs. So there's always cargo in their vessels, essentially.
So could we go use that flag?
No,
Yeah.
we've put the flag up.
Yeah.
The same one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We put the
so
Hadouken
that's
flag
one
up. Braxton will ask them, what sort of cargoes might you carry that someone could identify through a spyglass as worth stealing? Or something expensive?
Well, they would tell you that anything expensive would be stowed in the cargo hold and not really be up on deck. The only time that you'd put stuff up on deck is if it was too big to fit through the cargo hatches.
Yes.
Or you're just like completely overloading, but that's really difficult to do because makes it very difficult to actually travel at spelljamming speed if you go beyond your cargo limit.
Yeah.
What if we looked like we had prisoners on the deck? Like, no, I don't mean I mean like pirate prisoners. To incite them to rescue their own pirate captives.
So one thing to keep in mind about the Battle Dolphin is it's primarily a let's see, do I have the thing? You have very few open decks. The ship is designed to be a mostly closed deck vessel. The biggest expanse of open decks you have is on the shuttle because that's modeled after a small galleon. Like, if you have stuff out on your decks,
Yeah.
that would make it very difficult to move around, on top of the fact that you have so much interior space.
How about if we were carrying a statue that was too tall to fit in the
Well,
cargo
that would
hold?
work because I could animate that.
No, it's not going to be a real statue.
Well, why not?
Because it's going to be an illusion that Lever creates to make
The
it look
thing is,
like...
well,
we don't have a statue.
Well, Lafdul can make a crude-looking statue. That was something I wanted to ask Gold about, actually. Could I use my shapewood to make a statue and then further animate it afterwards?
I'd be inclined
literally make anything.
I'd be inclined to say no initially, but let me go look at the shapewood spell. Hold on a second.
As long as it's within the confines, and it only has to be 3 foot at minimum.
Well, 3 foot
that's a
statue would
cubic
definitely
feet per
not be
level.
not be something that you'd have on your deck.
See, that would go in the cargo hold. But what I'm thinking is, if we create the narrative that we've brought something back on the shuttle that's too big to fit in the hold, we can have something on view.
Well, I have a crude.
What about the small ship?
The small ship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something
I suppose
that
it might.
wouldn't fit in that's something that wouldn't fit in the cargo is a ship that we
Well,
might
yeah.
use to take off.
I suppose they might want to steal the flitter as well because it's got a helm on it. Yeah, I was more
really
so
like
trying
this.
to go on.
Yeah, go on.
I forgot.
Sorry. Yeah. What's about that? The place we went to on the Stellar Islands, they had that stuff that was sort of volcanic stuff.
Yeah.
Was there any evidence they were making giant statues out of that?
No.
Right. That's a shame.
You might be able to commission something like that, but that's not something.
No, well, I'm just thinking if we had an illusionary statue.
Right, I understand. That's not something that they have on hand. It's just sort of you could probably commission something like that. They take commissions, but you don't know for sure because you didn't ask about that. I mean, for obvious reasons. It's not a criticism.
Yeah.
You know that it just wasn't in your something you were thinking about at that time, and you have no idea whether they would actually agree to a commission like that. But they did indicate that they would make things on order.
And I suppose
but that was pretty clearly, like, if you want a specific style of furniture, if you want a specific style of tableware, that sort of thing is the impression that you got at the time. But they might do other things.
I suppose if we were carrying something that big, it would probably be wrapped up as well. Protect it while it's being hoisted.
Yeah. So, like, put yourself in the mind of a pirate. What would you, what would make, think about what your ship is, and how they would react to that initially compared to, say, a galleon or a tradesman, which are the most common by far cargo hauling vessels.
Well, we're a bigger ship, so we're more likely to be able to defend ourselves. We could get some of our crewmen that look like they're good at fighting to stay inside.
Most of them stay inside anyway.
Oh, okay. All right.
Your GIF and your dwarves do not commonly come out on deck unless they just want to, or there's a fight imminent. They don't typically take part in the sailing.
Yeah.
They're too busy being annoyed at Laughter who's robbing them at dice.
This is why our crew keep leaving. Braxon learnt the names of every crew member, and then he's had to learn more names about 6 times.
You have to learn their names all the time.
Yeah.
Right, but so you're a bigger vessel. You can carry more cargo.
Mm.
But what is the name of your vessel? Not the individual vessel. What is the name of the line of the vessel it is?
The name of the line?
Yeah.
You mean Battle Dolphin?
Yeah.
Ah, right, yeah. So...
You're a warship.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be...
What about if we had the smaller ship fly as well? Because you say the smaller ship is built on the example of a galleon. So what about if that one was carrying lots and lots and lots of cargo, and the battle dolphin would be there as protection?
Trouble is, we have to burn up the spells of another spellcaster to split.
And you'd have to
wouldn't
travel.
that
The second vessel would have to travel 20 hexes away from you.
And what happens if we miss the pirate and they hit the pirate and they get attacked?
That I'm not too concerned about. It's Glau is a good enough navigator that he would almost certainly make his navigation check to follow after.
Right.
I mean, he's got a proficiency of 18.
Yeah.
I think.
So I wonder if there's a way to look like we're stupid enough to have removed weapons in order to gain additional cargo space.
That's possible. Finn, you had something?
Yeah, would it be possible for me to grow some vines up the mast?
I don't think you have any plants that would do that.
Yeah, we'd have to go get some, but...
Certainly, I mean, but if you have an idea plant-wise, then Leva could make an illusion of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, keep in mind right now that you are... your goal is to get back to Hadukal. The planets that are close by, Syrian has no plants. Reorx is a fairly arid, rocky, mountainous world. There's going to be vines there, but it's it's not just like land in the anywhere and you'll find them. Kryn, you could probably do that. There's large temperate continental regions.
So we can't get giant vines from Hidokul.
Question?
And grow grapes the size of our heads.
You can try. Question.
Yes.
If Leva uses, or when Leva uses major creation to make something, and will that revert to its original form afterwards, or will it disappear, or what actually happens?
Major creation pulls material from the demiplane of shadow, so when it's done, it vanishes. But it does create stuff. It is physical. For the duration, it is real.
Oh.
I'm talking about, could I... the question why I'm asking is, if Leva used major creation to change something on the ship, would it revert to its earlier form after the spell runs out?
Well, you wouldn't use it to change something. Like you can't change your ballistas into something else. You can create material to put around the ballistas or on top of the ballistas or mixed in with the ballista equipment. So nothing physical that you have right now would be changed by use of the spell. What you can do is create stuff. I don't know if you can create like fake living stuff. You can make soft materials like ropes. I don't think you could create an actual plant. But you can make ropes and wood and stuff like that lasts a pretty long time.
Can you create stuff further away than where you
Vegetable
are?
matter. It can create vegetable matter.
Never. Can you create
Right.
stuff further away from where you are?
Right. So, but it's vegetable matter as opposed to vegetables.
That's true, yes.
Like, it can create hemp rope because that's vegetable matter, and it can create cloth, cotton clothing because that's vegetable matter. It can't create a cotton plant.
Braxon, I'll give you some clothes. How about that?
Could you, could you create anvils above the heads of our enemies?
If I had some metal to create an anvil with, I don't actually know. Can I create something like that in the air? Or would
Well,
would it be created where I'm holding the piece of material?
Is there a range on that?
Just a second.
'Cause if you can actually use this against them, it might be better to use it against them rather than to make them steal stuff.
Doesn't say anything.
Okay, let's see.
It's 1 cubic foot per level of the spellcaster in volume. That could be.
Does it have to be one thing?
Yes.
Right.
Well, I can probably make two ropes if I have 2 bits of material.
Right. So you can make one substance, but that could be a whole pile of rope that then you can do whatever you want with. It could be a stack of logs, or a stack of wood. That would count.
So
but I wouldn't be able to, let's say, make a long rope and have one end already be around the neck of one of the pirates.
No, I'm pretty sure that the stuff created would be the range is 10 yards.
10 yards, right.
Area of effect is special.
The range is the area of effect is 10 yards is not bad.
By the way, Lafdul, I did look it up. Yeah, you could create a statue with shapewood. It'd be very crude.
Yeah, that's the point. It's
the
magic of animate statue makes it move, so it doesn't matter if the statue itself can move.
I could make an enormous duck.
Lafdul's going to make an enormous duck, and he's going to animate it. That is his animate
major
statue.
creation. Like, I don't know that you could create an anvil. Does it say that you can create a specific thing, or is it just, well, no, because you could probably create sword, a weapon, or something like that.
It says an item of non-living vegetable nature, soft goods, rope, wood, etc.
Yeah.
It can create mineral objects, stone, crystal, metal, and
splinter of wood to create a door. So yes, you can create actual concrete objects, meaning that you could also create a statue with this, and Lafdul could animate that as well, just as a side note. Given the fact that it is range of 10 yards, I think that you could create an anvil and drop it on someone. That would require an attack roll, but that's also not really what you're focusing on right now.
No, I was just wondering if you could use it against them instead of on our ship. I guess you could also use it if we ran out of cannonballs. Not cannonballs.
Would she get +4?
Why would she get +4?
For them not being aware of the attack because it's coming above them.
No, because it's it's more about trying to, have you created it in just the right spot to fall on them.
But it takes 1 turn to create something. So by the time a level has finished, the person is still at the same place.
That's a good point.
So it'd mostly be no use for combat.
No, it wouldn't be
great. Then have to animate it if it's light enough. But then.
But the question I also have is, could Leva just cancel this, or because it says it's obviously a clear, defined time that this thing lasts. If I created something around the weapons, I wouldn't just be able to go and say, all right, we are there now, we can use the weapons, let's get rid of it.
No, they would have to be, the items would have to be moved.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It sounds to me that this thing might be more useful if we were stuck on an island and needed a boat. You could just make a boat.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll make
With
a duck.
the downside of it would have a limited duration.
Yeah. How long does it last?
For wood, it's 2 hours per level.
So we'd have 2 hours to get off the island before
No,
2
2 hours
2
per
hours.
level.
Oh, yeah. So
20
it
hours.
would be fine.
Yeah, but level
Not gonna be in boat for 20 hours.
Level
levels now
variation
having-
would play into it, but given that she's 10th level right now, 20 hours would be the average.
What a pity if it only lasted 10 hours. Oh, it was so nice knowing you, Braxon.
I like where you sacrifice Braxon every time.
Yeah.
No.
There's a
I actually played a prank on you too, Lafdul. It's just because Braxon doesn't doesn't like his clothes going away. So, but it only ever happened to him.
I mean, I
The
kind of
thing
suspect
is-
most people in the party would prefer
Yeah.
their clothes to not go
The-
away. But
The
That's
thing is some of us are plagued by ducks, and some of us are turned into naked old men, which is kind of
Airy,
worse.
airy old man.
so
Naked, hairy old men, yeah.
So, are we saying that Braxton is senile now?
always. I mean, you've got a couple different. You've tossed out a couple ideas, but not come to any conclusions.
I
I mean,
I-
like
I
let
would-
me put it this way. First of all, are you going to know that any of these ideas are going to work? No, you are not going to know until they work or they fail that any of them have worked. So I think that you should just come to a decision on what you think is the best one, and go with it.
Yeah.
I would say my vote would be on the basically disguising those extra weapons as machinery and using that illusion spell to create the notion that our ship is extremely wealthy.
Okay, sounds reasonable. I would go with
Same
that
as-
too.
Since
Yeah.
I would think that the pirates are very greedy, and if they see ship that is extremely wealthy looking, they might ignore the risks.
Okay, so how do you want to do that? Do you want to do that with major creation spells, or do you want to do that with illusions?
I could do it with both. I could
Yeah,
do
true.
the illusion.
You could do both.
I have 2 illusions, 1 major creation. So I would suggest that where it doesn't matter, I do a major creation.
Mhm.
And where it does matter, like in front of the weapons, etc., I use an illusion spell.
How about you put some decorations on the ship?
Yes, that's what I would like to do with the major creation.
With major creation, if we want to look very wealthy and expensively decorated ship, you have to remember that how long those materials last and how long the casting takes.
Yeah.
So I would suggest with
So if we use, for
The-
example, precious metals on decoration,
Mhm.
that's very low. That's only 2 turns per level.
yeah. So I would think the illusion would work better.
Yeah,
But the stone and crystal works 1 hour per level. So crystal, if you're really far away, crystals almost looks like diamonds. And
Yeah,
they're
but
different colored crystal.
Yeah, but I still think we would want to have precious metal decorations on our ship,
Okay.
since those make it clear that we are very expensive and
yeah. I mean, if we do something like surround the portholes and the ship's rails with something that looks like gold or platinum or
I guess
steel or something else.
yeah,
that work?
steel in this scenario, considering where we are.
How far apart are those portholes?
You don't have the illusion to cover all of that. With the illusions,
Okay.
your best bet is all of your top deck stuff, around the shuttle and the observation platforms and the tail fins.
Yeah.
Why does it need to be the ship? Why not make the people? I mean,
Ship is
could
more. Ship is how should I say, more obvious looking when you look it from far away.
All right. So how about doing the railing in a way that the part that looks towards the other ship?
So, are you thinking of using the illusion to do this? Because your major creation can't
Yes.
decorate the vessel like that. Like, it creates stuff. What it does is it creates stuff that you can then do something with. Like, you can create wood that's going to go away in 20-some hours, and then you can build a boat out of that, or you can make it into a boat and use that. But you can't, like, cover the railings on the ship in gold plating or something like that.
What was the response or the answer to Finn's question? Could he have something like vines go up the masts, and we have, let's say, glittering crystal on those vines that makes it look like the mast is all
Well, he doesn't have any
glittering
plants that he could do that with here, unfortunately.
and he can't have the mast itself grow a little bit.
No. Well, I mean, no, there might be some spells that cause actual wood to grow plants. I can't think of anything offhand, but Finn can certainly go through his spells and see if there's anything that he feels appropriate for that.
Got a question. Sorry. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's okay.
If someone was looking at us through a spyglass, how easy would it be for them to read things?
Read things like what?
Like, for example, if Levalithana was to create a load of large kegs on the shuttle deck that had something like, something fancy wine company or something on them.
They'd be able to see a symbol. They wouldn't be able to read the words.
Right. So
most companies most likely would have some kind of logo instead of words.
Do any of us
and you don't know?
remember-
No, you don't. You don't know. None of you made a point of paying any attention to anything like that. However,
do any of us remember symbols?
Most alcohol. No, none of you made a point to say that you were noting that. I will say this, that you got, well, Braxon at least, maybe Ockar as well, has been around port towns enough that he recognizes the difference in kegs and casks used for water and alcoholic beverages or other more expensive stuff that's being shipped. So you could definitely work with Leva to create create some kegs on deck.
Yeah.
That would be a type that would not be used for water.
They're usually they're
Sorry.
usually like thicker and try to make it so they don't break as easily, right?
I honestly don't know personally, but
What about casks of smoke powder?
I would say that if a pirate vessel saw that saw a vessel with kegs of smoke powder on deck, they would probably about face and charge.
Okay.
What do you mean charge? Run away?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially
we better not
especially
do
if the
that.
ship is warship.
That would be like, because if you've got smoke powder out on deck, a stray shot could set that off and cause a very big boom. And even if they're not close enough to, I mean, like, they're not going to want to board you at that point, because you could set that off in a, hey, you're not taking us alive kind of thing. or they could just blow you up and not get anything out of it and be like, well, shoot, this target that we were fighting has literally been splintered to, turned into splinters, and there's nothing to retrieve, so...
It sounds awfully familiar. That was Saturn Helm we lost. Saturn Yogi, I think it was.
Yep.
Or was it goblins? I can't remember.
So, no, that was... pretty sure that was...
the Amber Oak and Yogi.
So, yeah, it's a case of... smoke powder is not something that they would want to mess with. I would say that if you want something on deck that might look valuable, you could do kegs of an alcoholic beverage.
Mm.
Because the kegs used would be distinctive for that. And Major Creation could do that.
Yeah, that might work. And if we have kegs on top of the shuttle, that implies that we've filled up our cargo space.
Okay, so Lever could create those kegs.
Yeah.
Okay. She would do
And when we arrive in Hidako, Lafdul could sell somebody one of them.
I didn't say she creates the content as well.
Yeah, it would be very obvious.
Solas,
They'd be
Solas
very
would
obviously empty if anyone got close enough to move them.
Mm.
Also, Solas would object to it since he would know that those kegs would disappear in some time.
We specifically state that they're from Solas,
So where would people show their wealth on a ship like that? Sort of being ostentatious. Here I am with lots of money.
That's up to you to think about, but keep in mind again that you have 3 weapons that are not common on a battle dolphin. Battle dolphins typically only have the 2 catapults, and you've put on 3 additional weapons on your vessel.
Yeah, we need to hide those additional weapons.
So Lewa creates the kegs with the Major Creation because it's wood. It stays there for 18 hours, 20 hours, something like that. And she would go and use illusion to... What should she make out of those weapons? You said cranes and stuff.
We don't
need last.
We don't necessarily have to make them as illusions. I can possibly disguise them with engineering.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this though, the advantage of an illusion is that since the disguise isn't really there, it would be instantaneous on making use of them rather than having to clear away whatever things you put on them.
Yeah,
True.
It's the same thing with not using Major Creation on that. It would be a pain to have to get rid of the wood in front of weapons.
Another thing, after we made the kegs, you could use illusion to make it seem like they're filled with smoke powder.
We don't want to make them to look like they're filled with smoke powder.
We want them to attack us, not to run away.
Yeah, we
smoke powder would make them run away.
Oh, I thought Alt said it would make them charge us.
About face and charge.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what the rest of us calls retreat.
Oh, when I heard charge, I thought he meant charge and try to kill us.
No, he meant charge away.
Yeah.
Ooh, danger.
Okay.
That's the -1 times charge in my book.
So, I mean, like you could, if you're using Major Creation to create some alcohol casks, you can then use the illusion to make the other weapons look like more of those.
Oh yes, that's a good idea.
But we would know what it really is, so they'll be in for a surprise when a cannonball comes out of a cask.
Oh look, we are pouring wine instead of fruit. Yes, you'd have to disbelieve the illusion.
Wait a minute. Could she actually make cannons? Not that we got cannonballs or smoke powder.
Not with the. I don't think. I think that anything complex would
Right.
be an appropriate skill.
Hmm.
Right.
Are cannons
never
complex?
managed
Aren't
to
they just
make
like a
fire.
metal
Cannons,
tube that you
cannons.
shove it?
No, cannons are complex.
Yeah, there's a
Isn't-
hole
isn't
for the
fire
fire to
complex?
go in and stuff.
Is what
She would need
complex?
to know gunsmithing or something, I
I
guess.
mean, she made a firewall, and Higgimus burnt himself on it.
I thought it was just like a metal cylinder with like a hole in the front and a hole in the back.
No, it's definitely more complex than that.
Maybe you should go talk to some tinker gnomes. They'll help you make one.
I mean, let me put it this way. There would be a very, very high... If you did use major creation to make one without any appropriate skill, there'd be an extremely high chance that it would backfire and explode in your face if you try to use it.
Oh.
So,
Okay, yeah.
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 It has to be the
Yeah,
right
really,
thickness, it has to be the right shape, all kinds of things.
Early cannons were quite prone on disastrous malfunctions.
We can't just jerry-rig a cannon like Captain Kirk.
No. So does anyone want... so do you want to go through this plan? Get major creation going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Leva is all ready.
Okay.
How much does a ship wood cost
How much... What?
What?
for repairs? How much does it cost per ton? Or whatever we have.
I think I said 100 on Brawl. It tends to be 50 elsewhere for a ton of wood to repair the ship with.
How much is a ton? How much wood do I need for shape wood? I'm just wondering. For a statue, basically.
Not that much. I don't know. I haven't really established how much that is, simply because it's generally not material.
Basically, I want to buy some wood off the company, just like enough for one statue.
Is shapewood permanent?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it would
Well,
just be a case of me just animating it whenever we need it. So that way I wouldn't
So-
have to reserve the spell.
So we have wood in tons, and I don't know whether it would all be in planks or what.
It's all in
I can-
planks.
It won't matter because I can literally shape it to whatever desire I want within the confines, as long as it's wood.
Well, the bottom line is, do you want a ton of planks or less than a
Oh,
ton
no,
of planks?
I
More than
don't
a ton
know.
of planks?
That's why.
All right. Let me.
I just want to do it for argument's sake, saying that I just
Yeah. No, I'm thinking. So, does shapewood say that? Because it did say you could make a figurine out of it. But I don't think that you could. Like, it is in planks, and that's not.
9 cubic feet plus 1 cubic feet a level. So as long as it's within, within 16 cubic feet, I can reshape.
I think that you'd want to get a bigger chunk of wood than this. Like, you'd want to go find a fallen tree or something to turn it into a statue.
Well, if we can't do it now, how about next time we make landfall, we cut a couple of trees down?
Oh,
Well,
a suggestion from the chat. Did Lafdul keep any of the wooden ducks we could use?
It was pretty
They've all
small, and I think
disappeared.
that most of them were impermanent.
They're just trolling him with the ducks.
Yeah.
Leva sort
how
of
about
whistles quietly to herself.
could I shape the wood in such a way that either Braxon or Solas could then further construct it into a statue that I could then animate?
I wouldn't be construction since I'm more of a
Yeah, but
designer.
engineering and carpentry, we can come up with something as
I
crude.
would let Braxon nail and carve a very crude statue for you.
Yeah.
Without shipwood, I assume.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose the sort of thing that Braxon would make would be a figurehead for a ship.
Yeah, but you don't have any. You don't have wood carving.
I don't think he's artistic enough.
No, you like I said, this would be a crude statue, but it would have 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head of a sort.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just has to be fit for purpose. It's not anything fancy.
So you're getting the wood now, and you're going off to shape it.
Well, I think we set off. Otherwise, I think we already set off. Otherwise, we could have taken some of the wreckage from the broken up galleon and tried
Well,
to.
we haven't left, have we?
No, you technically haven't. If you want to get some of that wood, I suppose you can. My concern is that I'm not sure that you can take multiple planks of wood and shape them with that spell into a single
Why
statue.
can't you?
Because it's shaping something, and shaping half a dozen planks.
Wood
shaping
doesn't-
half a dozen things.
You're basically shaping it like how you would merging like a door with a wall or shaping rock with magic. It's not that much different.
Let me go look at the spell again.
You know, if you imagine if you wanted to make a statue out of matchsticks.
All right, hold on. The priest can cast it upon any appropriate-sized piece of wood to fashion a wooden weapon, make a rough door, or even create a crude figurine. So that right there, any appropriate-sized piece of wood.
Yeah.
Not pieces.
But what if the pieces of wood are nailed together?
While a caster might form a wooden coffer from a tree stump or a door from a wooden wall, the result does not bear high-quality detail. So if a shaping has moving parts, there's a 30% chance that they do not work.
But that's irrelevant because I wouldn't need it to have moving parts because
right.
Statue gives that, makes it move.
I think we need to go look for a tree and chop a tree down.
Unless
we can. Oh,
all right. No, hold on. So the thing is the fact that you can make a door out of a wooden wall indicates that yes, you can make it from more than one piece of wood, but the pieces of wood have to be formed into a single whole object in the first place.
So then we could collect a big piece of the wreckage and use that.
Yeah, wasn't the mast mainly intact? It was just chopped off.
Yeah.
Because I could use that, couldn't I? It's a
Let's go get the mast.
singular piece of wood. So I will do that.
And you could use it on, like, Braxon could just nail pieces of wood together.
Yeah.
And you could do that or glue them together.
Could I get
or something like that.
two animate statues out of a mask? Because the mask is huge.
Maybe.
Because I would have one for myself, one for Finn.
You could chop it apart. You could chop it apart.
The galleon that's been destroyed, we could look for the keel.
Keel is broken, but the mast would be better because there's also 3 masts.
Okay. I was just wondering if there might be fairly large bits of the keel.
I mean, there would be, but the mast is going to be easier to use anyways because it's freestanding.
Yeah.
This might sound silly.
And hold on, real fast. It also makes the math easier because I would generally say that it's about 1 cubic foot wide and deep kind of thing. So it's just like if you can do 9 cubic feet, you just get 9 feet high of
16.
or whatever. You just get that high of the mast.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all right. So I'll say that you collected the mast so that you can do that with. Anyone else want to do some collecting of debris?
Well,
you don't have the debris barrier spell. So.
Braxon had urges in the past. He'd have been pulling out all the nails of the broken ship. But it'll probably resist that.
You've got like gold and you can buy like tons of nails.
I know, but once a skin flint, always a skin flint.
Okay, so Lafdul has Much to the chagrin of other people aboard, I'm sure. You have collected some debris from the ship, some pieces of the mast of appropriate size. Leva gets her spell major creation cast, so it looks like you've got a whole bunch of, well, I mean, you do have a whole bunch of empty casks. The crew will use some rope to tie them down, so they look like they're tied down and everything. And you guys are ready to get underway?
Finn wants to do one thing too.
Sure.
He wants to have the crew string rope along the railing of the deck, attached to belaying pins.
So just so you know, I heard you say the along the duck. So I think you said deck, but maybe
Yes.
this is just what maybe this is a chat's fault. So go on. Sorry.
So he just wants them to string rope along the railing of the deck.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to share what this is for, or are you gonna make this a surprise?
Well,
You might
I
as well
can.
say.
Yeah, I was going to use it to cast a trip spell on him if we get boarded.
Okay.
Okay.
It's per rope, though, isn't it?
Yeah, just one long rope.
Yeah. No. I'll. That's fine. That makes sense.
Because
I thought you might be going there, but I wasn't sure.
That's an idea. Can we put things elsewhere that does that? So that if they get past that, you can cast a spell
You need to
somewhere
be
else.
really careful
Everyone's
about.
affected.
Right. Well, you need to be really careful about where you're putting it. The way that this is the way that Finn just described it. I don't think it would be particularly intrusive in just its normal, everyday use. Because I'm kind of picturing it like wrapping around, spiraling along the deck, and then when the trip spell is cast, it'll just pull and tug itself a little bit to raise up at certain portions. And in the normal usage, just having this rope kind of spiraling along the I would think the railings kind of thing. That's what I'm thinking. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. So as someone is
Boarding, they trip
yeah.
up on.
Like they'd be climbing over it or something like that and trip on it and stuff like
How
that.
many
So
of these are you going to memorize? Because it's one object of 10 feet.
yeah, but I mean, it's just some people tripping is better than none.
No,
Yeah.
because I can help him with this. Because I have access to the spell as well.
Okay. I mean,
So
you can
if we...
discuss that.
I don't know how big a ship is.
Well,
others-
we're not going to need to do the entire railing either. We're only
Yeah.
going to need to do it at the point they're boarding at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the side that they're boarding at.
Oh, it's fine. It's your stick. You can...
No, well,
it's a good idea.
if you're
Yeah.
if you're there and he isn't, you can cast a spell.
If
If
you've
he's
memorized
somewhere
it.
else. Yeah.
Oh, I suppose, yeah.
One question
I think we
about
are
the
on different
animate
shifts, aren't
statue
we?
spell.
Let's see.
Same shift.
You are on different shifts, yes.
Oh, that's good.
Lafdul is on shift 2, and Finn is on shift 1. And Solas, you had a question.
Yeah, about the animate statue spell.
Mm-hmm.
Does it matter what material the statue is?
No.
If it doesn't say, then it doesn't matter.
No, it,
Okay.
doesn't. It just says what material types can be used to animate it. The only thing that matters if it's already a magical statue. As I'm sure at some point in the future will troll me with my own statue that tries to strangle me.
Nystul's magical aura makes it magic.
I have a question.
Yep.
Are we using like morale and stuff, like battlefield things, when we're doing these ship
Higgins
battles?
had
I roll for morale if it seems appropriate, yeah.
Higgins had leadership and stuff too.
Because I was wondering if it would be a good idea if we get into a battle for me to have the morale spell prepared.
Oh, you got war, ain't you?
Yeah.
Has war.
I would need let's see. I need to use at least a gem of 100 value, GP value, to do the casting. but at the conclusion of when it's used, morale is modified by 1 either positively or negatively as I desire for 1d4 plus 2 turns.
Can you cast that on the opposite crew?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that can be useful.
And the
I
second
would...
more powerful use of the spell is yeah. The first one I'm reading. Battlefield use oh god, this is a I either use it on 1 unit or up to 200 individuals.
Yeah, so I would allow that to work on an opposing crew. I'd have to double check the spell exactly, but generally one type of enemy crew is what would be affected. So if a ship that attacks you and it's got 20 human crew and 20 dwarf crew, you would choose which of those two you'd want it to apply on.
You couldn't do the second use of the spell. I don't think that would be defending. And plus, it takes it 5 turns.
Yeah. But the first use of the spell using the gem, I can use that pretty quickly.
What's the range on it?
240 yards.
Okay, so the enemy vessel would still have to be in the same hex as you. What's the casting time on that first form?
1 turn.
Turn?
Okay, yeah, so what I'm going to say is, because this is one of the things that the war spells are intended for battle system use, like that's what they were created for, which limits their usefulness in situations like this, which is something that I don't like. I mean, like, I would want it to be useful in this kind of situation. I believe in battle system, I think that it doesn't use rounds, it uses turns instead. So, like, one action by a group is a turn.
Yeah. Would you reduce that? Would you make that a round then?
I would probably give it 2 rounds, just so that it's not... Well... No, I think that I would say it would be a full round cast, like Bless.
The end of turn like Bless.
The end of the round,
and that would make the effect last for 1d4 plus 2 rounds.
I don't know that I'd change it too much.
The turn. It's only... Well,
I'll think about it if you use it. I haven't decided one way or the other.
Yeah, I was either going to prepare that or command,
Okay.
or protect it from evil.
Not cure light wounds.
I have lay on hands.
Command can always be useful.
Command's good, yeah.
Oh, maybe command would work on the flying thing that chops Mars off.
If it can understand you.
Yeah,
Maybe.
understanding you is key, and
and it has to hear you.
Yeah, remember that time when I used command on the clockwork cars?
I just thought I'd bring up options that I have.
And I used hold person GIF.
yeah. So
all these.
I want to. At some point, I've like wanted to make alternate rules for the war sphere spells, and I just haven't yet. For now, I will say that most of them would probably end up being a full round casting time, which does mean that you're not moving, and if you get hit, your spell is disrupted. So keep that in mind.
I've got a question for Lafdul.
Oh God.
If you want statues, would you mind making statues of Higimus?
A giant GIF.
Well, yeah, because then when you cast your other spell, it will be an animated GIF.
Oh God.
Either way, I just thought it'd be an interesting thing to try to do when we get into the fight.
Yeah, you just reminded me of something else. I have a question too.
Yes.
Leva would like to. She read through it. I read through it at length. She would like to use the simple spell from the book.
Okay.
And yes,
Mm.
from the
8th level. What's the worst that could go wrong? God.
Nothing at all. So there, shut up.
Never deletes herself from existence.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
But-
ahead. Tell me what you want to do.
As
with
far as I understand it, Leva could sort of write down a symbol on, let's say, one place where they would start boarding, and it would act like some sort of a trap. Is that correct?
it. Can you set it to trigger on
Passive
specific?
touch.
Yes.
Yeah, Passover.
Creatures.
However,
Absolutely.
it's the triggers are, how can I say, very rough. Like, don't look at it. Don't look in that direction, otherwise it gets triggered.
Yeah, the chance
but-
of the crew not doing that.
Or when somebody walks on it. But the walking on it is okay. Tell the crew just not to walk in that area.
That would not work very well in a combat situation. No one is going to be saying, if there's a combat going and they're running around, like, gotta run to this other weapon to load it, or they're coming on board over there. No one's going to be paying attention to that spot. Don't step there. So there would be a pretty high chance that someone would step on that. If you cannot restrict it based on a situation like that.
Well, the caster can set special triggering condition of his own. These can be as simple or as elaborate as the caster desires. So could I put this symbol for death, let's say, and say as soon as an enemy passes the symbol, he will die?
We should
Unless
specify
it's
pirate.
I let's see.
It says special conditions for triggering blah 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 blah. It's a very long description. It can be based on a creature's name, identity,
High
or
enough level
alignment.
to allow it as well.
Hmm?
Oh, do you need the material components?
No, it's like a scroll.
$5,000.
But I
Okay,
have it
right.
in my mind. I remember it well.
So, you can base it on name, identity, or alignment, but otherwise it's based on
Observable
appearance.
actions.
Yeah, so like you could say any GIF who step here, it blows up. Any humans that step here. A
What
pirate
about the
is
Minotaur?
not observable.
Minotaur.
But we do know that the pirate group has a Minotaur crew.
Yeah, do it on that. As long as we don't hire any.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could do something like that. Keep in mind, you can also use this. Like, there's you can also use it as like an instantaneous thing in a battle situation.
Mm-hmm.
Cast it, they see
Like
it.
cast it under someone.
Yeah, and they see it, and then they're subject to it.
But it still needs to be scribed quickly. Scribed. So I still need to Leva still needs to get very close to someone and say, just to a moment, I need to scribe something under your feet.
Right, but that's just a
Hang on,
casting
no,
time
you
of 3. And but no, you can actually do that in the air, I believe.
Yeah.
Symbol can be quickly scribed in the air.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you
So
can
you don't have to
scribe that
be
in the
there.
air and have it affect a specific creature.
Who is looking at you, this thing?
Let's see. Those are hopelessness, pain, and persuasion. Whereas the greater symbol could be just plain death.
Fear, hopelessness, pain, or persuasion.
Here's a question though: is Leva subject to
yes.
using death magic affecting her alignment?
What?
Well,
Because it's not good to kill someone outright.
Yeah,
No, but
but
if you've
Leva could
set up a guardian situation where if someone enters this thing, if someone
Yeah, I
that fits
figured
this
they would be
specific
alright in
thing
that.
enters it, they get killed. That's fine. That's actually fine.
That's how I've done it with my traps and my poison.
I
or
could make it different. I could make it so that everybody who passes the symbol starts arguing with each other. Then what we have is a big crowd of people just arguing with each other.
well, you could make since Old said that it has persuasion. You could try to use it to charm Minotaurs for our side.
Okay.
I
Is
don't
it
want
gonna
to.
be a
I
fact?
just want them to be gone. They're pirates. Leva doesn't want to charm pirates.
I mean, if they were on our side, they would start fighting against the other Minotaurs.
Yeah, but
That's possible, yeah.
Yeah.
I must attempt a savings throw.
Command works when automatically on creatures with 13 or less intelligence than 6 or less than 6 hit dice. Okay.
So it will be 1d20 turns.
Isn't it the confusion spell that just makes everyone fight everyone?
More chaos.
And there's multiple
No,
spells.
confusion can just cause them wander around.
There's multiple
this
spells
is
that can do that.
Discord.
Let's put it that way.
I actually think if Leva takes time to put down a really a greater symbol. Well, let's talk about it. Would you prefer that they die and not fight us anymore, or that they, for example, fall asleep,
They're parrots.
or
The
that they're
problem
just
is with
stunned?
sleep.
And then what would happen? Would you kill the sleeping ones? I think that's much worse than just having them die as
If they're
they
Oh
try
yeah,
and
if you
enter the ship.
execute sleeping creatures, that's an evil act.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would go for this. That they're trying to
Yeah,
kill
but
us.
if they are asleep, you can capture them.
And then Ockar and Solas are like, let's not kill them when they can't put up a fight.
If you
Isn't
just
that-
stun them, because you can affect a lot more creatures, and they can't really do much. They're easy pickings.
What do you mean I could affect more creatures?
Creatures whose hit points do not exceed 160? Because your death most likely may not even affect one if it's got more than 80. The odds are.
You just want to make a lot more work for Old. Imagine he has to calculate 3d4 rounds for every one of them.
Still not.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's
do that.
Let's
Let's make it harder on Ald.
let's trigger it on Minotaurs and set it to stunning. And as soon as that's done, Leva will race off to the book and look whether there's a next spell and what it is.
So,
You know what's funny is that
hold on. Okay, so where on your vessel would you put this? You want me to pull you over to the deck plan?
Yes,
What if we
please.
get across
And I will,
friendly
since Leva is not the specialist there, she will ask Braxon where would these people come and try and board the ship.
Well, we've got a mostly internal ship, so we've got rails on the lower part of the ship and rails up near where the shuttle is, and that's the main two entry points. Anything else would be them cutting through a wall. If you're talking about things that influence people, I know there was some talk about things that might affect our own crew. We have heard that they've got Minotaurs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had spells that you could specifically target on Minotaurs, it might be safe to put them anywhere, because we don't have any Minotaurs on our crew.
Yes, but give me an idea of where it would be best. What would be the best place?
Right. Well, if they attack on the front deck, they've got to go through that doorway.
Which one? Where?
Hang on. Give me a moment. So, hang on. I'm a bit zoomed out.
Yeah.
You know what? How long does the spell last? Is it indefinite? Can you cancel
Symbol.
it?
Oh, no, sorry. There are 3 places where they can get in, not 2. So, we all know on the top of the shuttle, they can get in through the surveillance deck, where there's 2 ladders down.
Here?
Surveillance deck is on the right of those deck plans, so next to where the shuttle is. They might also try and steal. They might also try and steal the shuttle. That could be a clever thing for them to do. They could steal the shuttle without attacking the rest of us, and they've got free shuttle, the free helm on it.
If you were a pirate, what would you try and do?
If I was attacking our ship, I would either come in through the surveillance deck, try and take out the weapons on the surveillance deck, and then try to come down those ladders. That is where you have to be high, or I would come in through on the command deck from the front, where we've got 2 weapons, take out the weapon crew, and then come through this front door here, where we had a fight before, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Or the other sneaky way to get onto our ship is the undefended bit at the back of the captain's cabin, which has Higamus written on it.
Lafdul's plants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
so-
guess we as long as we're here, do we want to move some people around?
Could do.
Or into a potential fighting position.
No, I
No,
think
I
he
meant
means change the names on the deck plans.
Oh,
We could
Did
change
somebody
Higamus
drop
to
out?
Braxon.
yeah.
And I
Ockar
think,
took Braxon's, didn't he? And he,
yeah, I think Ockar was getting Braxon's room.
Yeah.
so that was the first officer.
Seal and Murder dropped on from the call.
And Sinray has left us, and we need a room. We got room for Finn.
Yeah. I thought Finn was using Sinray's room.
No,
No,
he's got
he
a different
took
room.
the guest room.
Well, he could move into
Because he
Sinray's room
was.
if
Yeah.
he wants.
Well,
Or we could make Sinray's room the guest room.
So let me see. They were trying to. They were ramming us last time, and then they came across here. Correct?
But that ramming ship was designed to ram.
Mm-hmm. So if they're not designed to ram, would they? You think it would be reasonable for them to come here, or via here?
They might come on at the back. That's if they're trying to get round the front. So if we have the front heavily defended, they might try and sneak on the back.
But do they see the weapons on the front?
Well, they're going to be expecting weapons on the front. If you've
Okay.
disguised them, then they might not see them. But the standard thing for these ships is to have weapons there.
Okay.
So if I was attacking a battle dolphin and then there were no weapons there, I would be suspicious if there was not an obvious reason for them not being there,
Okay.
like maybe the front being modified to carry more cargo, or maybe the weapons looking like they've been damaged.
Okay.
It's a bit tougher to get on the back, but if I was in charge of some pirates and I had a spellcaster that could fly or teleport and make themselves invisible, I might ask them to go over to the back of the command deck and sneak on board and kill
where
anyone that was an officer that looked like they were asleep.
All right. In that case, I suggest that I put the symbol here at the doorway.
Well, that will only get someone that tries that route.
Well, I mean, you're only going to get anyone who tries any given round.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why I'm asking where would be the most likely place.
My opinion is that the most likely place is right here.
Yeah.
All right,
I
then I
concur.
put it there. Then I
I
put it
concur.
there.
If you can do more than one, we can do more than one later.
I don't
How
know.
often can you do this spell? Does it cost you a
I
lot of
don't
money?
know. I don't know.
It-
We don't know
it's
anything
from-
about this. It's a book.
It's from the book that holds spells that she can cast like they were on scroll.
Yes.
Oh, right. So you can keep casting the same spell.
No.
No.
Maybe.
Anyway, she's going
Why
to
don't
cast the
you-
symbol spell here.
Maybe,
and
maybe
it's
not.
going
Okay.
to go for stunning, and it's for Minotaurs.
All right, give me just a second.
Might want to add it to the notes like I did with the glyphs of warning.
Hmm.
Yeah, you'll want to make a note of exactly what the functions are, and where you have it. I'll put something down on the map in just a second.
Okay.
Okay, so you stand in the doorway, and so you do need to basically carve the symbol into the deck. It's not necessarily very big, not necessarily very obvious, but it would be obvious to someone examining that spot. Obviously, that's not going to happen in the middle of a combat situation, but Let's see. Just give me a second to get to this thing to check some numbers. Okay.
It lasts 1 turn per caster level.
No, I think it's
100 and...
Isn't it permanent until triggered?
Nope.
When it's
Yeah, but after
The
it is
symbol of
triggered,
after it's triggered, it
The
lasts
effect
about
lasts.
1 turn per caster level. So some symbols are actually exhausted before, like this one only works for hit points, 80 hit points, and the stun one probably is
160.
identical, but for 160 hit points.
right,
And
but it's permanent until triggered, correct?
I didn't see anything to the contrary.
Okay. What's the is the duration just special?
Yes.
Okay.
Casting time is 1 turn. And the area of effect is 60-foot radius. Actually, if... No, it's okay.
Alright, it's kind of hidden there, but that's what we got. Alright, so you stand in the doorway and scribe the symbol on the floor. And
Actually, when it comes to reading scrolls, it's her true level. It's not a level variation, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, because someone else scribed the scroll. Oh, can wild mages scribe scrolls? I mean, have the wild search effect.
No, generally not. Generally not.
Oh.
It doesn't really play into creating scrolls. It would play into creating magic items if they need spells cast, though. Okay. As far as you can tell, that has taken on the floor there. You feel like there's a brief flash of light that then is gone, and it looks normal there.
Can I still remember the spell?
Give me
Or is it
just
gone
a second.
Now you need to test it. Someone to walk over it to see if your spell's backfired.
So that connection with this spell, and because you don't have the book with you, correct?
No, I would have it with me.
You would have it?
Because I'd be very impatient to see whether I actually have a new spell in there now.
Okay, but you don't have the book open. Your
Correct.
expectation is to then open it afterwards. Even
Yes.
without opening the book, you can feel that connection. Through that connection, you can feel the magic fading slightly, and you realize that you still know that spell is there, but you realize that you just can't cast it right now.
Okay.
So you realize that you cannot call upon that again, even without opening up the book. You realize you cannot call upon it again right now, but you still sense that spell.
Is it the sense that, let's say, if Leva was to rest a night, then it would return? Or is it the sense
You won't know until you rest tonight.
Oh.
You won't know until tomorrow.
Well.
It's a shame it's not ninth level spells. Wish would be awful.
Alright, she's gonna wait a night, and see how it is next day.
Okay.
Not opening the book before that.
So you've made a note that this is for Minotaurs, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Nobody charmed the Minotaurs because they'll be stunned anyway.
No one make a Minotaur player character when their player
Oh,
character dies.
Well, that might be laughable.
Well, there goes my backup. My other backup.
I
Wasn't
wonder
there-
if your magic is respect to true creatures or polymorphed creatures. Or illusion.
Why
Polymorph
don't you
yourself
test it
as a Minotaur and test it.
Yeah,
I don't have the ability to polymorph yet.
you don't.
Leva can
But you
polymorph you.
had.
No,
Yeah,
I can
no.
alter self, not polymorph. That's partial.
Well, Leva could sort of turn into a Minotaur, but she doesn't really want to, because then it starts glowing, and people who see some glowing sign on the floor would say, "Oh, there's something wrong there," and they wouldn't go. They wouldn't pass it.
So, do you want me to give you a quick answer? Because I think you would realize. Well, actually, you know what? Leva, give me a spellcraft check.
You know, shape change would, because it's a true transformation. If she knows of the spell.
Just a moment. Spellcraft, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Roll a 20, roll a 20. Aw.
So, you believe that it would apply to a creature polymorphed into a Minotaur, because it is based on appearance.
Oh.
Ah, yes. The description says so. Leva passes that on to the others. And she said, "But you can test it. I mean, feel free."
No.
Okay. Finn, you're back?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Hopefully you didn't miss too much, but at the same time it was mostly just discussions that didn't directly impact you, so hopefully it wasn't anything much.
we just destroyed all the plants when you weren't looking.
So right now, we have. Let's just take a couple minutes. I'm gonna assume that Leva and Solas, you're happy with your cabins. You like that, being up there?
Solas
Yes.
likes to be close to the library.
Right. That's what I
Same.
thought. Okay.
They get itchy.
And Ockar and Braxon, obviously you're happy with where you are. Lafdul and Finn, we've got this cabin up on the command deck.
I'm
That's
happy
true.
where I am.
Lafdul, you're happy where you are. Finn, do you want to move up to the command deck?
Finn's fine where he is.
Okay. Okay. That basically means that you have two guest cabins, which until they're actively used for guest cabins, will probably be a situation where crew members are using them and getting some, like they're spreading out a little bit more.
Like all the gift from one, or well,
Yeah, not necessarily that.
Well-
I'm not going to decide one way or the other. It doesn't matter that much. Just the point being that they will have more space personally until you need them for guest quarters.
One of them's going to turn into the room full of statues.
They're choosing by the
a short straw in it.
of the snoring.
Oh, that would annoy Lafdul. He might do something to the crew members if they start snoring.
Who says you don't?
True.
Okay, so is there
I don't.
anything else that you guys want to do before you set off?
Should I put my marks down for my glyph supporting on the map? Or no? I know what they are. But
That might be
how do you
useful.
write text in this?
How about
Okay.
hold off for now?
Yeah.
It's not me.
Yeah,
I know where they are.
Yeah,
Has Leva changed?
we'll just hold off for now then, just because
2
We've got
hours.
D&D to play.
it has been an hour and a half of discussion. You guys have not moved the vessel at all.
I thought we were going to spend the entire
Oh.
session here because we've got items to go for at some point.
We do have
never
items, and that's fine too. But
Yeah,
at
we
the
got
same
places to
time,
do.
like you haven't moved. Some of that can be done while you're moving.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're forcing the narrative. Ah,
He wants to roll some combat encounters.
Mm-hmm.
You can have combat encounters by not moving. You're still subject to them.
Yes, and I was very tempted to roll some of them, except I didn't think that you guys... Like, a lot of this was stuff that had already happened and was happening simultaneously and stuff like that. All right, so, you ready to get going again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yes.
is strengthened and somebody has cat's grace.
I am going to
Once.
cast idea before we leave.
You're giving out strength.
I'm giving out. Yes, I'm passing out strength.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, no, I've already
I'll
cast
take it.
them, apparently. Oh.
If you don't mind.
Okay.
Ninja on the strength.
Gotta speak up faster.
That's fine.
Yeah, Solas, come on.
All right.
Those heavy books not going to lift themselves.
So
Ockar,
who's
1840.
Ooh, nice.
Who's having the cat's grace, or is Braxon going to take it?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't need it. You
think
get
it's-
more AC out of it.
Sound
You
like
already have, what, like 18?
Yeah,
Dex?
I only get it for my thieving skill, so
Okay.
my archery.
So cat's grace on Braxon in that case.
okay.
I mean, you get a huge armor class bonus from it, so.
All right, and what is the modifier for a warrior? Is that 1d6?
Oh, just a second.
I think rogues get the most.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Warriors 1d6.
Okay. 3 points of dexterity to a maximum of 19, Braxon.
He's got 15 in
So I'm normally 15. So I'll be
it.
18.
Yeah, 18.
Yep.
You have 3 more AC out of that, though.
Right, yeah, that will change my AC.
Okay.
You feel faster now, don't you?
So I get a reaction adjustment of +2 and a missile attack adjustment of +2. Oh, that means I'm better at archery.
That's 2. Oh, yeah.
Does that make me better at archery?
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
And I get a defense adjustment of -4.
Yep.
So
Not that you get these skills where your pickpockets, open locks, move silently, and climb walls would have gone up.
So I normally get -1. So now I'm getting
You actually got decent AC now. You're -4, aren't you?
All right, so you can go ahead and move the move your ship.
so that would make my AC -3.
Well, your AC would go down by 3, yes, from whatever it was before.
Yeah.
It's really useful. That's why I've always personally preferred having a higher AC than I have hit points, but
So I'm assuming that this is that this will be a new day essentially when you're getting going.
I suppose so.
it would
That
take
means
like
I've
a
got
while to do salvage operations, going around getting a mast.
Yeah, that was the day prior when you also searched all the things, cast the spells. Idea, your casting of idea is
Wait.
yeah.
Because I checked it and I already had it cast, so I would cast it again if it's next day, only if it is next day.
Okay. Yeah. This is happening the next day.
All right, now we'll cast idea.
Okay.
Before we leave, basically.
It doesn't really reveal anything that you've forgotten.
All right, that's good.
While we're on the way, Lewa will cast Major Creation and create all those kegs.
Yeah. No, I already figured for that.
Oh, okay.
And I'm assuming that your casting of symbol was during this part of the trip too. Basically, what I want to do is get through a day of travel, and then we'll cover what you did during that day if there were no encounters.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'm down to 19 go pieces.
As soon as we
So-
travel, he's going to have us attacked by pirates.
Anytime you're ready to move the ship.
I think we're ready. Well, you're asking me to move the ship.
Whoever is going to be moving the ship. Yes, I'm asking you to
Hang
move
on.
the ship.
Hang on. I'm looking for the ship. We on the right one?
Yes.
I'm too zoomed out. There we are.
Yeah, you'll want to zoom in a lot for this.
Right. So we're going back to. Oh, we've got to go off the map, haven't we?
Yeah, basically you want to get
Where-
to this ring here, anywhere along it, and that'll shift you
Yeah,
out
but
into the outer.
We're going to this one, are we?
I'm sorry?
On the outer display, we're going to the one in number 2.
Zivlin? Yeah, you want to go to Zivlin.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's kind of annoying because that is between 2 and 3 on there, and then the inner ring, the 2 and 3 don't line up.
No, I know.
Oh, I never noticed that before. It's going to annoy me forever now. Because we kind of want to go over here, but it would make more sense if it was. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I can figure out where you would come out based on where you go.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about that too much.
Well, I just want to navigate in a sensible way. Okay, so we're going to go there.
Okay. All right, so you get underway, and the
we're still hot, aren't we?
it's still a lot warmer than elsewhere in the sphere. It's like a very warm summer day.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're coming further out from now.
Is there any
Yeah.
any restrictions on me memorizing the reverse of curse, bless to curse?
Only the material component.
Yeah, so as long as I don't go blasé with casting all the time, then I'm good.
Yeah.
Were we doing 5 of these before we finish a day?
5 in a day, yes.
So do you want me to do
Yep.
5 more?
Yep. The trip so far has been uneventful. Continues to be uneventful.
3.
On the second day, I will cast Mind Read.
Yeah, hold on. So this is a new day, so you'll be able to cast it this day. I'm just gonna wait until we get through the travel for the day, and then we'll figure out what people are doing on that day.
Ald said hold on, which means we're being attacked.
Nope, you can go on. Go. It's continuing to be uneventful.
Lafdul would have done
5.
Yep.
shape wood that thing.
Okay. So
We're approaching Kryn.
your first day has been uneventful, and you are flying past Kryn, the namesake of the sphere.
Is it worth us skimming Kryn to get some free air?
You've been gone like 10 days. No.
Yeah, we go months at a time before.
Yeah, you can go 4 months before you need.
Oh
air,
dear,
so.
we accidentally landed on
And
ants in the middle of the water, Lance. We're playing Dragon Lance now. Now go.
Hey, we could find a dragon there. It's cough.
All right, so on that day, what are people doing? I'm assuming that this is when Leva has cast the symbol spell. So
I
it
am
won't be until
shaping-
tomorrow that you get them, that you're able to check to see if it comes back.
Okay, she will. That's it.
No, I mean it'll be the next day. Not
Okay.
this is for the stuff that you've done in the trip that the ship just took.
She will try and distract herself because it's itching in her fingers to open the book. She's not a patient person.
I mean, you can open the book.
Lafdul will be like, "Do you need a sedative?" Finnel'ar.
She's sort of frightened
um,
that she will lose the spell, and the book has a new spell, so she has a new spell instead.
I mean,
You
you,
know
can
what's
still
funny?
sense the spell, the symbol spell.
All right, she opens the book and looks inside.
Okay, it's still on that page.
Oh, okay,
You open the book and it's still showing that page.
okay.
Is there anything anyone else is doing, Lafdul, were you going to cast another mind read that day?
I am. I'm also shaping wood to see if my statue comes out first.
Yeah, that's fine.
Spectacle that all the crew can watch.
You can cast Shapewood to make a crude, very, very crude statue.
Yeah, as long
Many
as it's-
members of the crew basically chuckle and get some comments along the lines of "Don't quit your day job," that sort of thing.
Yeah, say that when it would be saving your life.
One of the dwarves is like, "Is that supposed to be an illithid?" I can't
You'll have
tell.
to look. Good. If no one can figure it out, then maybe they'll be stunned by the confusion.
Braxon whispers to a couple of the crew, that's the avatar of his deity. Try not to upset him.
He worships a crude wooden figure. Oh, they have much fun over that.
Oh, he's an elven priest of the wooden man.
Wooden man? No. You're on about
One of the crew says, "Yeah, I didn't think he worshipped Rilithane."
Yeah, I was going to mention Rilithane.
All right, so Lafdul, you wanted to cast a memory read on one of the remaining crew members?
I would ask. I pose the question to them, see if they're right with it.
All right. So first of all, let's choose the one that you want to memory read.
The one with the flying creature, I guess.
The one with the flying creature. Okay, that one was crewman 2.
I would invite them over to dinner, and we would discuss it with the party. Because this is going to be. It might be traumatic, it might not be, but I want the kind of the back end of the party to help me out. Convincing is not my strongest forte, apparently.
What is your reaction adjustment modifier?
+3 for charisma. I could do drop on holy, but the glowing laughter would be a bit of a show. Actually,
all right. What was your? I'm sorry. What was your reaction adjustment?
+3.
Okay. I don't think that draw upon holy might would. Well,
it does.
No, draw upon holy might would work on charisma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of call upon faith. What would that get you if you wanted to do that?
Well, it's the fact that I would be stunned mid-casting of my other spell, I think.
Well, yeah, but you could convince him and then do it a little bit later. Like, you wouldn't have to follow up with the memory read right away.
It would put my charisma to 17 to whatever Ockar has for his reaction I would have. I don't know what it is.
Let me look. I have 17 charisma. That's a reaction adjustment of +6.
Can I actually cast it when I don't have access?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It makes as long as you have access to the planes, it makes the connection like Contact Home Power does.
Oh, let me just see how much of an effect this is. Because I shudder and glow with shimmering aura. I'm going to make this guy who is is he anti-magic, anti-phobia? I don't know what you call it for magic. Magic phobia.
So initially he was extremely nervous, but you seem to have awed him with your show of magic and your presence. And
I have cast it because this is going to cost me far holy water.
Yeah, you have cast it.
All right.
I would say. And he says, well, I mean, I guess so. If you think it would help with capturing these guys.
Yeah, we'll be bringing you justice to your fallen compatriots and stuff like that. Stuff like that. I'm the greatest salesperson ever.
Luckily, your charisma is pretty high even without your that. So I take those things into account with how you say things.
This will last me 7 rounds, and I will be utterly exhausted after this when it wears off.
He's very nervous, but he'll let you memory read.
I cast it. I want to know, because is this going to have drastic effects on me? Because I'm having 2 effects that are both making me exhausted.
I mean, it will kick your butt.
I will effectively be unconscious almost.
No, it's not gonna. It doesn't say that it would make you unconscious. You will be completely exhausted.
Drained,
yeah, you'll be completely exhausted.
All right.
You might need some help getting back to your quarters.
After we'll crawl.
Okay, so you cast a spell and start reliving his memories, and so you can see the from the crow's nest of this galleon, you can see the approach of an octopus ship. It's painted red and gray. Um, the tentacles coming from the rear of it, it's like they're intertwining and stuff like that. And half of them are red and half of them are gray. Is how that's working. And you start seeing the weapons fly. You hear the commands for battle stations and stuff like that. And as the weapons start to fly, your perspective, you realize that this guy's called out that they're out there, they're incoming, they've got their weapons. Weapons are firing, and then he clearly ducks into the crow's nest to take cover. You can understand that this guy is clearly not one for fighting. He's a sailor. He's not a warrior, and he's scared.
That's
a
fine.
reasonable reaction there. And you can hear all kinds of sounds of clashing, shouts, screams of death as weapons fire hit the ship, and then you feel the crow's nest shudder beneath you, and you're falling. The mast is clearly toppling. You start sliding and tumbling in this, and as it's
crashing into the deck.
Yeah, it's coming down, crashing into the deck. And give me a wisdom check, please.
Yeah. Oh, wisdom. Hey, one of my better stats.
Yep.
Oh dear, you're going to pass out from the shock.
No.
Okay, that is really good. You do get a very brief glimpse of something fly by. It is indeed a large bipedal creature. You think it might you see like either armor or chitin, like an insect along its limbs. It has very insect-like wings coming off of its back, and it is holding a big bladed weapon, and it's just very brief. And give me one more wisdom check. No, it looks like a sword of some sort. Not like a polearm. Okay. And just before everything goes dark, you spot a tall Minotaur with a... hold on a second, let me double check what his weapon is. You spot a tall, very muscular Minotaur with a wicked-looking halberd. His halberd catches the weapon of one of the other crew members, and it shatters under the force of his blow, and then the halberd sinks into this crew member, like into his chest, clearly killing him, and then everything goes dark.
Wait, how does the halberd? What shattered? Sorry.
Basically, this Minotaur with one hand swings a halberd down on another crew member.
Yeah.
It shattered right through the sword that
the
the guy
halberd
raised.
shattered.
No, the sword.
Oh, he broke the sword.
It just
swing. Yeah.
Like the crew member is holding his sword up to block this blow, and it just comes down, shatters the blade, and cuts into the guy and kills him instantly. Obviously, like no one could survive.
Shame,
that.
I'm not. I need a fighter's insight to know if that was the.
Dang.
I think he's saying that the guy tried to parry and the thing just cut straight through his weapon.
But if I was a fighter, then I would know if that was unusual of how he blocked it, because it's outside of my field. I don't think I can make that distinction.
You'd have to know how well made the sword was, and we don't have the sword.
And give me an intelligence check, please.
Yeah, you can tell it's outside of my field of expertise.
Yeah. You don't think you got a good enough you don't think you saw him long enough, well enough to be able to remember him, spot him again if you saw him.
Yeah, but I might get another glimpse from another crew member. Who knows? It's just big Mescler had a wicked-looking halberd. Is it in like jagged or had skull motifs on it? Or what kind of...
the blade was jagged. Like
like that axe we found recently.
Maybe I'd have to go back and look to see what I
because it had
described
like
it.
A serrated edge, like
it
a
was
saw
it was
blade.
ornate. It was, you would not say that it was serrated per se, because serrated would be for cutting, and this is obviously not.
Smithing.
It's different.
Cleaving.
You're not sure exactly.
Alright.
Being, I mean, you don't have weaponsmithing or anything like that, and you definitely don't know halberds or axes. But it is not. It was not just a smooth, curved blade on that halberd head. It was ornate. You might recognize the halberd itself, but you don't think you'd recognize the Minotaur. You just didn't get a
I'm
good
just
enough
looking for
glimpse.
a Minotaur with an unusual halberd that is extremely well built. So, something to go on. So,
Okay, so was there anything that anyone else wants to do in there on that day?
I want to make sure
Solas-
I convey this to the rest of the party before I pass out.
You're not going to pass out. You just get helped back to you. I mean, you can communicate this, and then you definitely need help getting back to your cabin. And then, yeah, you're exhausted, and you sleep for like 12 hours. Like, the whole other shift you will be sleeping for.
Just once every other day I can cast this. So.
I think after we'd had our hasty discussion about what tactics we could use against them, it might be worth discussing things with our crew. So we got GIF, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
That have guns.
Mm-hmm.
So if this thing flies in and tries to attack our mast, we could possibly agree some things we want to do, like maybe they could all try and shoot it.
One thing that I will add is that Lafdul would be able to tell you that he's pretty sure it was much bigger than a human.
Right.
So it wasn't like human size. This was bigger.
Oh, right.
He didn't see it well enough, and he didn't have enough reference material to say how much bigger. Like, is it 15 feet? Is it 12 feet? Is it 20 feet? Is it 60 feet? You could probably rule out 60 feet, but
So, are you sure this is not like a ship, like a flitter? Because it could be a person riding on a small ship.
he could not tell you for sure. Like, he saw it was very brief.
So.
It was right. As the point of view is tumbling, screaming, falling, Lafdul is viewing the memory and experiencing the memory, but he's not the person experiencing it, so he is able to have more composure while this is happening, but it still only goes so far.
So we could prep perhaps for our archers to be ready to go up top and rain arrows on this thing, and for our gift to try and shoot it, and for our weaponeers to try and knock it out the sky.
We need to reinforce that mast somehow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would try to bard it, but I don't think we can wrap metal around it.
You don't have enough metal anyway.
Yeah. We probably have to stop off somewhere. I don't know if there's something we could do
Anything we could do in short order.
temporarily to make
What
it.
about chain?
Yeah, chains would be the closest thing we could do.
I don't know if we'd have enough chain.
You most definitely do not have enough chain.
We might have an anchor for the hilt.
I would have some.
I mean, hanging a chain off the mast, because the mast has ropes hanging off of it for the rigging.
I don't think you'd be able to turn your. I don't think you're like. Yeah, the shuttle does have an anchor, and it probably would be on a chain. It's not a heavy chain. It's not a thick chain. And it's not a very long chain because your ship is not designed for much. It's for like anchoring in no more than 20 or 30 feet of water kind of thing. I would think.
You'd have to buy a dedicated chain for this. Like, as awful as this might sound, like a slaver's chain for holding like a big creature, like a wyvern or something.
An anchor chain would do it. You just need to buy a lot of anchor chain.
Yeah.
There's those spells, isn't there, that we've come up against before that stop protection from weapons and that sort of thing.
Most of those work on people, but there might be other things that you could cast on the wood or on objects. You'd have to go through your material and see.
Didn't you have a spell that makes a bag reinforced? But I don't know if that applies to objects in general. Is it only bags or containers?
It's as I remember, it's only bags. Just a moment.
Yeah.
Let me see.
You hollow it out, make it iron.
I will say this. This is the kind of thing where if you created sheets of metal with major creation, I would say that would allow you to essentially clad the a single mast with that. Just because it's not so much that it would be cladding it as just metal up and around it. That might affect your maneuverability, though.
Yeah. I think we'd have to get a bespoke mast made out of metal or something. I had a thought. Lever, you said before that you can cast an illusion. So if you can cast an illusion, you can create an illusionary mast and maybe conceal our existing mast, so that if this guy comes flying in.
How high is a mask?
Well, it's pretty narrow, so I would, if you're using one of your illusions specifically for that, I would say that would be fine.
Okay. What would you want me to do?
Well, basically make it look like the mast is somewhere else, so the guy comes in and attacks a mast that doesn't exist. And then I presume that if the spell works, he would think he's chopped down the real mast.
No,
and then he wouldn't
What
attack.
do you mean if the spell works?
If he doesn't disbelieve your spell, or if he's not immune to your spell.
No, there's a problem with that. There's a
Uh-huh.
major problem, because no one else is reacting to that mouse being shattered. He would instantly have a disbelief on it. It's like, why is no one reacting to this mast falling down that I've clearly chopped?
Well, how
Yeah,
would that
but wouldn't
work
there be
out,
a-
Old?
Hang on, because if
Well, let's let
Okay.
Braxon ask his question first.
I was just going to say, if he comes in and attacks an imaginary mast, there's going to be a lot of people firing arrows at him, firing smoke powder weapons at him, and running around. And I don't know that he would be able to tell from that commotion that those people haven't noticed that the mast has fallen down.
A mast is a major
Okay,
part of the ship. How could they not notice that?
Well,
yes,
what I'm
they
saying
would.
is there'd be a fight on. So maybe he'll notice.
So
Maybe he'll
real fast. The illusion would not. It would not be an illusion just for him. It would be an illusion for everyone.
You'd all have to disbelieve. It's like what I mentioned at the very beginning, that when Leva cast it to produce an illusionary firewall, Higimus got burnt.
Right. So
but
the
I
illusionary mask could land on someone and hurt them.
Now, I will say this on top of that: anyone familiar with a battle dolphin, any member of your crew would have a really easy time disbelieving this. In part because they are going to see suddenly your regular mast disappear and a new mast appear someplace else.
She could also
we
tell
could
them
tell
she's
them.
going to do it.
We'd tell
Yeah,
them.
but even without telling them, it would be pretty easy to disbelieve, just because, it would be kind of obvious to any member of your crew that something is going on, and it would just be pretty easy to disbelieve for your crew members and anyone familiar with a battle dolphin.
So,
Yeah, so if pirates are familiar with battle dolphin, they would have an easy time to disbelieve it.
Now, whether
All right,
whether
then.
any of them are familiar with a battle dolphin, you have no idea, and you have no way of knowing that unless you start interrogating them beforehand. So,
so
like, I'll just say this: like, don't get hung up on that part for them, because you have no way of knowing that one way or the other.
Okay, well, how about this modification to that then? What if Lever was to extend the ship rail a few feet forwards with the mast, so that it looks like the mast is still at the front of that deck?
I mean,
But
it's just a
actually
case
in
of
midair.
well, it's just a case of people familiar with it would be able to disbelieve. Some of it is it may be worth a try. You won't know how it works until you try it. So, you had a question?
Oh yeah,
Lava?
yeah, yeah.
yes, well, the question and the problem with that, even if Leva has 2 spells memorized, she cannot concentrate on 2 spells at the same time.
Correct.
I would think.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you'd have to decide either go for the masked one or go for the cake. No, not the cake one. The weapons one. And the second thing is, how would that actually work out? If somebody actually attacked the mask, wouldn't Leva have to convincingly have the mask break?
Yep.
She would have
Yeah,
to
it's
decide
taking a
where and
concentration.
how, and if she doesn't properly know how things work, then it wouldn't work, because if it floats off into space, then as an example, then they would notice something is not quite right here.
Right. So again, like, so a lot of this would have to do with how it's attacked, what it's attacked with, how they hit it. So, you may be in a situation where it's like, holy crap, he attacked it in just the right way. It's going to fall completely off the ship. All these things like that. But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, there would be a lot of moving parts to that, whereas compared to just hiding your weapons with kegs, no moving parts, nothing untoward. You don't need to think about, oh, what happens if this, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what do you prefer, Braxon?
Well, I was going to say, I guess it's down to you to decide what to do on the spur of the moment, because you're not going to be able to do different things.
Yeah, I think what I would say is leave this up to Leva. Leva, you have these as possibilities. If you think in the heat of the moment this will work, go for it. If you don't think it'll work, don't do it. How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think all in all, Leva would prefer to go for the weapons, because that needs less, how can I say, brain power to concentrate on it. Whereas with the mask, she would have to keep it in mind all the time. She would have to be in a place where she can observe what happens.
Yeah.
And be able to react to the actions of the others. Whereas with the weapons, she can just concentrate on it. Yeah, be close by to concentrate on it. But once the illusion falls, it falls. It's gone.
Doesn't the illusion persist for a couple rounds after you stop concentrating?
3 rounds.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, because that's the thing is, like, if this thing that attacked the mast is close enough to attack your mast, it may be that you don't need the illusion on the weapons anymore anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're close enough to attack them, and that would break the illusion anyway. I mean, it would be easy to see through. So, if you have the second illusion spell, you can stop concentrating on the first one, put up the second one. You'll get a few extra rounds out of the first one.
That's true.
Yeah, let's do that.
And once they've committed to attacking us, we don't really need the illusions anymore.
That's not for certain.
Well, I'm not saying they should be dispelled, but they are to bait them in.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they're coming in, because it can Lever actually control the way that a mast falls down if that thing chops it?
I mean, she has to, but and it's not so much that I will. You can absolutely say that you wanna do it, but it may just be a case where I roll a check. You roll a check to see if you've gotten it well enough to be believed, as opposed to saying, "All right, he's coming this way. I'm going to have it fall this way, and I want to do this and that and that." Yeah, I don't necessarily need you to do all that. It's more of just do check to see if you succeed in making it believable.
Well, what I was getting at is if the thing tries to come and chop the mast down while their ship is pulling alongside and trying to grapple us, she could maybe make the mast fall onto their ship where their crew are.
That would only work if it comes from the backside and actually chops at the mast, so it can't fall that way.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
if
they were alongside.
That's what I mean, is that if she wants it to do a certain thing, if it gets chopped, then she can say that. If she doesn't want it to do a specific thing and she just wants it to be believable, I'll leave it up to a check.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
She's going to think about it during the break.
I mean, you can still have it fall down on them, even in a non-believable factor. Some of them might still believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it is time for our 10-minute break. So let's go ahead and you guys can still. I'll still give you a little bit more time to think of anything that you want to do in that day's trip up to where you are right now. You can also start thinking about what you want to do on the next day, and then I think you'll have 8 more days out to Zivelin. So start thinking about what you want to do on those days, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes.